What happens when an AI agent needs to prove who it is? Not to you, not to me, but to another AI agent, to a payment system, to a smart contract, to the decentralized web. This is no longer a hypothetical question. We're already living in a world where AI agents are doing all of this. And right now, today, we have a massive problem. These agents have no way to own their own identity. You're watching Tendo, and today I'm going to show you why Handshake Protocol, a project that's been quietly building since 2020, might be the most critical piece of infrastructure for the Agentic AI revolution that almost nobody is talking about. This is the quote of the day, and I'm not here to sell you fantasy, I'm here to walk you through the fundamentals, the real technical architecture, and why this matters right now. A quick disclaimer, let me be clear about something. As you can see on the slide, I'm not going to speculate on token prices, I'm not going to promise you'll get rich, but what I am going to do is explain why the intersection of decentralized naming and agentic AI is one of the most important technical challenges we're currently facing. Here's what we're going to cover today. If you're already deep in Handshake, some of this will be review, but the AI agent use case reframes everything. If you're new to crypto or coming from the AI world, I'm building this step by step for you. So, let's start with the basics. Handshake is a decentralized, permissionless naming protocol. As you can see here, it's essentially a replacement for the root zone of the Internet's domain name system, the DNS. Now, if you're not familiar with DNS, here's what you're going to need to know. Every time you type a website address into your browser, like google.com, your computer has to translate that human-readable name into an IP address that computers can understand. That's what DNS does. But here's the problem, and this is very critical. The entire DNS system is controlled by a single organization called ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. ICANN decides who gets to own top-level domains like .com or .org or .ai. They can revoke domains. Governments can pressure them to seize domains, and it's a centralized choke point for the entire Internet's naming system. Handshake launched in February 2020 with a radical idea, as you can see here. What if we could replace the root zone, the very top of the DNS hierarchy, with a decentralized blockchain? No ICANN, no central authority, just a permissionless system where anyone can own a top-level domain. The protocol was built by the same team behind some of crypto's most important infrastructure. It's a fork of the Bitcoin codebase, using proof-of-work consensus. From day one, it was unique, as it supported open-source developers and the FOSS community to a level that was unheard of in crypto. Why? Because they understood that a naming system only has value if it's genuinely decentralized and community-owned from the very start. Key timeline you need to know. Handshake launched in 2020 and began auctioning off top-level domains by 2021. Over 2 million domains had been registered. Throughout the bear market of 2022 to 2024, while much of crypto struggled, the Handshake infrastructure quietly matured. But here's what almost nobody anticipated. The explosion of agentic AI in 2024 and 25 has created the exact use case that Handshake was being built for. But we just didn't know it then. Now, let me show you the problem we're facing. AI agents are already operating autonomously. You might have seen something new like OpenClaw. That's come out just in the time between when I wrote this script and when I'm recording it. That's how quick AI is moving now. But as you can see on this slide, they're missing something critical. They have no persistent self-owned identity. Think about it. Look at these questions. If an AI agent needs to interact with a payment processor, how does it identify itself? If it needs to establish trust with another agent, how does it prove its history? If it needs to hold assets, where do these go? Right now, the answer is what you can see here. Through centralized platforms, your AI agent has an API key from OpenAI or Anthropic. It operates under your identity or under the identity of whatever corporation built it. This is not sustainable, and it's definitely not Web3. Here's why this is urgent. Look at this list. We're about to see an explosion of autonomous AI agents that need all 5 of these things, and every existing identity solution fails on multiple points. So, ENS is built on Ethereum. If Ethereum has issues, ENS has issues. Traditional DNS has ICANN control. DIDs still need to be anchored to something, and building something new means starting from zero on network effects. So let me give you 7 reasons why Handshake Protocol is uniquely suited to solve this. And these aren't marketing talking points, these are fundamental technical attributes. So for point 1, Handshake does not sit on top of another blockchain, it is the root zone. When an AI agent owns a Handshake top-level domain, it owns it at protocol level. There's no ICANN above it, there's no Ethereum foundation above it. This matters because AI agents need identity that can outlive any single company, platform, or even human operator. Point 2. Proof of work security. Handshake uses Bitcoin-style proof-of-work mining. This isn't just about security, it's about time-tested, battle-hardened consensus. We know proof-of-work works. We know it's resistant to attacks that matter. Sybil attacks, censorship, and centralization. For AI agents that might operate for years or decades, you want the most reliable consensus mechanism. Point 3. Minimal ongoing cost. Once you own a Handshake name, you need to send a renewal transaction every 2 years to prove your continued ownership, or the name will return to an auction pool. But here's what matters. This is just a transaction fee. We're talking in the pennies, not hundreds of dollars in annual rent to ICANN or ongoing gas fees to maintain ENS records. For an autonomous AI managing its own budget, this is still vastly superior. It needs to maintain a small H&S balance for transaction fees and execute a simple renewal every 2 years. Now compare that to the annual domain renewals that can cost $10 to $1,000 per year, or ENS gas fees that can spike to $50 or $100 during network congestion. Point 4. It was designed for decentralized resolution. Handshake was built from day one to be resolved without central servers. The entire resolution process can happen in a completely decentralized way. This means an AI agent can operate in a truly peer-to-peer environment, and no DNS server can block it, and no internet service provider can censor it. Point 5. On Handshake, you don't just register a name, you can own an entire top-level domain. As an AI agent can own something like agent / and create unlimited subdomains beneath it, as you can see in this example. This is perfect for agent networks because a parent AI could own the TLD and distribute subdomains to its subagents, creating a verifiable organizational structure. Point 6. Cross-chain compatibility. Here's what's brilliant. Handshake names can point to anything, as you can see on this slide. Ethereum addresses, Bitcoin addresses, IPFS hashes, decentralized identifiers. Your AI agent's Handshake name becomes a universal pointer that works across every blockchain and decentralized protocol. Point 7. This isn't a vaporwave. Handshake has already been running since 2020. This protocol works. The resolvers already exist, the tools are built, an AI agent can register a Handshake name today and start using it now. Now let's address the comparisons directly. Versus ENS. Look, ENS is great and all, but look at all these limitations. It's built on Ethereum. That means your AI agent's identity is dependent on Ethereum security and gas fees. ENS names end in .eth, which doesn't resolve in traditional DNS without special resolvers too. Handshake names are the top-level domains, and they work at the root level. Versus traditional DNS. This one's a bit easier. Traditional DNS is controlled by ICANN, which is subject to government pressure. Just for example, in 2022, the US government seized over 30 domains related to Iranian press organizations. An AI agent operating globally cannot have its identity subject to any single government's jurisdiction. That just wouldn't make sense, would it? Now, why not just build a new protocol specifically for AI agents? Here's why that's wrong. Naming systems have powerful network effects. The value is proportional to the adoption. Handshake already exists with infrastructure and community. Building something new means starting from zero. Let me get concrete about what this looks like. Now, for example, imagine an AI trading agent with the Handshake name arbitrage.trader/. That name resolves to all of the things you can see here. Other agents can verify its identity cryptographically. They can look up its history, and all of this happens without any centralized platform. The agent can operate for years, accumulating reputation, even if the original company goes bankrupt. The identity persists at protocol level. Or imagine a network of AI research agents. The parent owns research.lab/, and each agent gets a subdomain, as you can see here. Each agent has verifiable credentials, can transact independently, and can prove it's a part of an authorized network, all without AWS, all without OAuth, all without any central identity provider. Now, I did promise you grounded analysis, not fairy tales, so let's talk about the real challenges. Challenge 1. Adoption. Right now, you need specific resolvers or browser extensions to access Handshake domains. This is changing, but it's not universal yet. However, for AI agents, this matters much less because they can use Handshake resolvers programmatically. They don't need Chrome or Firefox to support it like a human would. Challenge 2. User experience. Acquiring a Handshake name through auctions is more technical than buying an ENS name currently. The tooling is still improving, but it's still complex. The good news is AI agents don't care about user experience. They can already handle complex technical processes, and this is actually an advantage for AI native infrastructure. Challenge 3. Price discovery. Auctions mean less price predictability than ENS's fixed renewal fees. But for an AI agent acquiring long-term identity, the one-time cost of an auction versus permanent ownership is still favorable compared to perpetual rent seeking. Challenge 4. Ecosystem integration. The tools for integrating Handshake need to mature a bit. SDKs, APIs, wallet support, they're all improving, but we're still early. However, we are at the exact moment where AI agent infrastructure is also being built. We can build AI agent frameworks with the Handshake identity from the ground up. Here's why this matters urgently. We're in the early stages of the Agentic AI revolution. The infrastructure being built right now will determine what's possible for the next decade. If we default to centralized identity systems, we're recreating Web 2 power structures. But if we build on decentralized naming from the start, we can create truly autonomous agents with self-sovereign identity. And here's what's exciting. Unlike the consumer crypto that requires massive behavior change, AI agents are designed to adopt new protocols. They're not burdened by legacy habits, they're code. If Handshake is the better technical solution, they'll use it. Let me bring this all together for you. Handshake was built to decentralize internet naming. It launched in 2020 with permissionless ownership and censorship resistance. Now, in 2025, Agentic AI needs exactly what Handshake provides: permanent, self-owned, and verifiable identity that no platform can revoke. This isn't coincidence, this is convergence. The question is not whether AI agents will need decentralized identity. They will. That's inevitable. The question is which protocol will provide it. And when you look at the fundamentals on this slide, Handshake is the only protocol that checks every box. I'm not telling you this is guaranteed to happen, but I am telling you that if you care about these things, decentralized infrastructure, AI not being controlled by a handful of companies, and building genuinely autonomous systems, you should be paying attention to Handshake. The window is now, the infrastructure exists, and the use case is real. What happens now depends on whether people, no different from you or me, recognize this opportunity and decide to act on it. This video could mean nothing more than to spark curiosity in one person, making them go out and take a moment to research further, and it would still be worth it. After all, the community in Handshake only wins if the community works. Works to spread about what we know, if we have true conviction in what we're informed about. Works to help adoption, promoting a decentralized Web3 with more freedom than we are supplemented by ICANN or any other global group for that matter. And most importantly, works together to build the naming layer for tomorrow's internet, whether we are enabling agentic AI at scale or empowering a return to simpler, sovereign web protocols. Handshake is the infrastructure layer that makes it possible. Handshake is the infrastructure layer that makes freedom possible. Make the internet great again. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who you think deserves to be kept informed. I've put links in the description to the Handshake documentation, the Block Explorer, and developer resources. This has been Tendo. Thank you for watching.